Good, happy Saturday morning, January 25, 2020. I'm Riley King, and welcome to this Saturday edition of Good Morning, New Hampshire. Let's begin. We have a lot of stuff we're going to be talking about for this edition of Good Morning, New Hampshire, so let's get started. Rise and shine, everyone. Let's get your Saturday off to a good start. Sit back, relax, and enjoy some Good Morning, New Hampshire, where we have a little bit of everything for you in this program. Let's begin with your local news. Man indicted on attempted murder charges in Pelham church shooting. Holloway also charged with first and second degree assault. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
Why are you screaming at me? Jackpot alert. Great. Let's go get tickets. But first, buckle up. The man accused of opening fire during a wedding ceremony at a Pelham church is now formally charged, indicted Friday by Hillsborough County grand jury. Dale Holloway is also facing charges in connection to the assault of his public defender. WMUR Siobhan Lopez now with what new documents reveal.
The shooting at that church happened 3 months ago. The grand jury indictment just handed down also includes past violent convictions on the defendant's record. Dale Holloway is indicted on 6 counts in connection to the October 2019 shooting of a bishop and bride during a wedding ceremony at New England Pentecostal Ministries. State and local authorities responded following this initial dispatch by Pelham Police.
I need somebody to 954 Oak Street, the church, for a report of an active shooting.
Holloway now faces multiple charges, including attempted murder, first and second degree assault, and being a felon in possession of a deadly weapon. While being held at Valley Street Jail in Manchester for the Pelham shooting, Holloway is accused of assaulting his public defender. Another indictment charges him with 1 count of first-degree assault. He's alleged to have struck his defense attorney in the head, causing bleeding around the victim's brain. Both sets of indictments point to Holloway's violent past. 2 prior convictions in Massachusetts. In 2003, armed assault to murder, where he was sentenced to a minimum of 2 years, and another 2-year sentence in 2017 for an assault and battery conviction. Siobhan Lopez, WMUR News 9.
Holloway is being held without bail. He's due back in court next Wednesday for the Valley Street jail assault against his public defender.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Buttigieg starting to make closing argument to Granite Skaters. Buttigieg was at UNH campus in Durham, New Hampshire last night for an event. Let's take a listen to that video and that report from WMUR News 9, Mike Cronin.
Why are you screaming at me? Jackpot alert. Great. Let's go get tickets. But first, buckle up.
Pete Buttigieg has come a long way in New Hampshire, entering the race as a little-known mayor from Indiana to now one of the major Democratic candidates as decision time approaches.
I have been so moved to see how seriously the people of New Hampshire take the role that you have.
At UNH Friday, Buttigieg is starting to make his closing argument to Granite Staters.
The one thing that's even bigger than the majority that agrees that we are against this president is an even bigger majority that agrees on what we're for. Remember, we're the ones trying to get you a raise. We're the ones ready to deliver paid family leave.
In these final crucial days of the campaign, the field is less crowded during the impeachment trial. 4 Democratic senators, 4 of your competitors, are tied up in Washington for the impeachment trial. Does that create an opportunity for you here in New Hampshire in the final 2 weeks?
Well, I don't think anyone's going to hold it against senators that they're doing their job. Obviously, what's going on in Washington is important. But from my perspective, as a presidential campaign, we want to be on the ground, engaging with voters as much as possible.
Buttigieg says his message across the country is the same, but that he hears the concerns of all voters.
When I'm in the north in New Hampshire, and some other communities too, I hear a lot of concerns about economics that remind me of issues we've faced in Pelham and South Bend. I'm in a lot of communities, especially in the Seacoast area, that are concerned about PFAS contamination, and we're going to continue to make sure that we're engaging.
Buttigieg is back in Iowa tomorrow with a packed campaign schedule ahead of him with 10 events over the next 4 days there. Reporting live in Durham, Mike Cronin, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. And now let's take a look at your 2020 New Hampshire candidate tracker for today, January 25th, 2020. We have a bunch of candidates in New Hampshire today. The first candidate we're talking about, Joe Biden. He has one event today in New Hampshire. Community event at Mary A. Fisk Elementary School in Salem, New Hampshire at 12:15 p.m. Tulsi Gabbard has one event today in New Hampshire. Town Hall at Maltonborough, New Hampshire at 5 p.m. And Bill Weld has 3 events today in New Hampshire. His first event, Greet Diner patrons at Marianne's Diner in Derry, New Hampshire at 10 o'clock a.m. His second event, Town Hall at Rockingham Brewing CO in Derry, New Hampshire at 11 a.m. And his third event, attending Concord Winterfest at the Hotel in Concord, New Hampshire at 1:30 p.m. And those are all the candidates that are in New Hampshire today. And we're going to switch gears now. Let's go into national news. In national news, what's next? President Trump's defense team to begin presenting case today. President Donald Trump's legal team is expected to begin presenting its defense on Saturday morning in the ongoing impeachment trial. That will start at 10 a.m. and go until 1 p.m. today. It will be a short impeachment trial today. And we're going to switch gears now. Let's go into weather. Weather today, mostly cloudy with possible drizzle or flurries. With more on that, let's go to meteorologist Haley LaPointe with this weather video.
Why are you screaming at me? Jackpot alert. Great. Let's go get tickets. But first, buckle up. Hi everyone, I'm meteorologist Haley LaPointe. Here's an update on your forecast. Today, we're mainly cloudy with some drizzle through the daylight hours. Then after dark, heavy rain passing through, downpours. And then in the northern part of the state, the higher terrain, snow and mix likely. Above average temperatures continuing on. In fact, today temperatures easily in the 40s in a lot of spots. So that's why we've got rain coming in instead of snow in the southern part of the state at least. Mostly cloudy through about noontime, and then we start to see some drizzle, really even this morning that's possible. And then the steadier, heavier rain comes in for most after dark with an easterly wind through much of the day here. Temperatures in the 30s to the low 40s. Manchester, Nashville, Portsmouth about 42 this afternoon. So the clouds quickly taking over. Not much sunshine today, and there is the threat of a few areas of drizzle or even some flurries through the early part of the day before this main line starts to move through during the evening hours tonight, and it will pour in southern New Hampshire. You'll see that here in the hour-by-hour forecast this morning. A few dots of the green, that's indicating some areas of drizzle. Could be a few flurries in the North Country, but nothing heavy and steady until we get to the evening, say after 5 o'clock in the evening. This is 7 o'clock, and you can see pouring rain in the southern part of the state and snow and mix starting up just to the north of the Lakes region, and that's where it'll be confined to, mainly even the higher elevations in the White Mountains because of milder air pumping in with this system. Look at this. Tonight at 11 o'clock, it is downright pouring, very heavy rain from Concord to Rochester and Portsmouth with the temperatures in the 40s, so mild enough for it to be plain rain. It's pretty much all done by Sunday morning at 7 a.m., maybe some lingering showers to the north, but we'll actually see sunshine for the afternoon on Sunday, except in the North Country and the mountains where there will be some ongoing snow showers. We have a winter weather advisory for those areas until Sunday, 7 a.m. That's where we could have some messy road conditions due to the mixing and the snow, only expecting between 2 to 4 inches in most locations to the north, with the exception of in the mountains, maybe about 4 to 8 inches there, more in the highest of terrain. Then on the flip side, we're talking about flood concerns, and there's actually a flood watch posted for the southeastern part of the state because there could be up to 2 inches of rainfall there in a short amount of time. So pretty crazy and very typical of New England weather, right? Where you have snow in some spots and then flooding concerns in others, all in one state too. And then as we get into Sunday, still pretty mild with temperatures in the 40s, low 40s on Monday with snow showers north, and then looking very quiet again through the work week with temperatures getting a bit cooler.
Okay, and there you go on that weather video from meteorologist Haley LaPointe. And we're going to switch gears now. Let's go into New Hampshire Life. Let's take a look at your event calendar for events happening in New Hampshire and in the Boston area as well. Blizzard Blast 2020 United Way of Greater Nashua, 9 o'clock a.m. at the Mine Falls Park. Family Hike Winton Woods, 9 a.m. at Squam Lake Association. Story Time Station, Saturdays, 9:30 a.m. at the Heights Branch Library. Mona Printing Without a Press with Amanda, 10 o'clock a.m. at Main Street Art. Supercharge Your Success, 10 o'clock a.m. at NHTI Concord Community College. The Way of Kindness, an Introduction to Meditation, 10 o'clock a.m. at Aroka Buddha Retreat Center. Manchester City Library, 10-bag book sale, 10 o'clock a.m. at the Manchester City Library. Winter Survival Program, 10 o'clock a.m. at Massabesic Audubon Center. Snowshoe Yoga Adults, 10 o'clock a.m. at Prescott Farm Environmental Education Center. Lamont Gallery presents Cut Up/Cut Out, 10 o'clock a.m. at Lamont Gallery. And those are events happening today in New Hampshire and around Massachusetts and Maine area. If you want to see that list, we'll share a link with you on the Riley King Network Facebook page after this broadcast. Viewer's Choice 2020 Best Wings. Let's take a look at that video and see where the best wings are in New Hampshire. Who loves chicken wings? Good for football games. And the Super Bowl is right around the corner.
Why are you screaming at me? Jackpot alert. Great. Let's go get tickets. But first, buckle up.
Okay, there you go. Best wings in New Hampshire. Yummy, yummy. I could get some chicken wings right now. Who wants to get me a plate of chicken wings and bring it right here? Who loves chicken wings? Raise your hand. And we're gonna switch gears now. Let's go to healthy tips and lifestyle tips. How initiative eating can help keep food resolutions going in 2020. Let's take a listen to that video from Good Morning America.
So now we're going to go to something called intuitive eating. It's an approach to food that could help you avoid frustration and keep those New Year's resolutions. It's all about keeping everything on the table, not off. Diane Macedo is here to explain. I like this concept.
It sounds good, right? Well, we all know diet trends seem to constantly change. First, it's low fat, then it's low calorie, then it's high fat, but low carb. Well, now one expert is using Instagram to help her followers ditch dieting altogether and instead become more in tune with their bodies and take back the joy in eating.
For over a decade, Caitlin Elf has made room at her kitchen table for her 45,000 followers at Kate's Plate. The registered dietitian nutritionist shares snapshots of her daily meals, along with easy-to-follow recipes, all to promote non-restrictive eating.
I never share my meals as a prescription for other people, but I started getting these messages from people just saying, thank you so much for sharing this because you've made me feel like it's okay to eat bread 3 times a day.
Kate encourages her followers to break the yo-yo dieting cycle for good and make peace with food by eating intuitively.
When we're told you can't have something, all you want is that thing. When everything's on the table, you're able to really listen to what really satisfies me, what actually tastes good.
She says it all starts with accepting your body's genetic blueprint.
We all have our own unique set point weight, a weight at which our body is happy and healthy and functioning at its best.
Next, listen to your internal cues for hunger, fullness, and satisfaction, which Kate says are paramount to good health.
I always recommend every 3 to 4 hours you try to nourish your body, usually something that has carb, protein, fat, fiber. The more that you do that, the more you're going to be able to be in tune with those internal signals.
Finally, give yourself unconditional permission to eat all foods, guilt-free.
So many people feel like if I stop controlling what I eat, I will never eat another vegetable again. I will live off cookies and candy. What people end up finding is that when they lift those restrictions, they're actually more in control.
Kate says by eliminating rigid rules, the body will naturally find its way back to nutrient-dense foods, a journey that is not one size fits all.
Unlike dieting, that's going to tell you in 30 days you're going to achieve this and your whole life is going to change. You're not going to necessarily get that out of intuitive eating, but what you are going to get is a lifelong lasting change.
And Kate says in time, off-limit foods become less compelling. So if you crave pizza, enjoy that pizza. You might eat 1 or 2 slices now instead of binging the entire pie later. And maybe tomorrow you'll want broccoli. I love it. Well, hey there.
Okay, there you go for the healthy tips and lifestyle tips. And we're going to switch gears now. Let's go into entertainment news. In entertainment news, Kelly Ripa explains how her son, Jack Queen, broke his nose and tampons saved the day. Let's take a look at that video from Entertainment Tonight.
Let's start with a family update.
Yes, family update.
I'm concerned as a family member. Joaquin, the infant, Keeney, he broke his nose,
Yes,
right?
yes, he did. He had a wrestling tournament this weekend. Kelly Ripa revealing how her youngest child, 16-year-old Joaquin, broke his nose over the weekend on Live with Kelly and Ryan Wednesday morning. He took a knee to the nose. He was wrestling one of his good buddies, as a matter of fact. From our point of view, it looked like he got poked in the eye. And So I was like, I get it, that hurts, and sometimes your eye, like, it won't open. But we were like, all right, Joaquin, for heaven's sakes. I was like, pull yourself from And then I see, like, then there's, like, a medic out there, and they're wiping the blood off of him.
Turns out the injury was way worse than Kelly thought.
We decided that nothing was off limits.
The 49-year-old TV host shared before and after pics of her son on Instagram. Alongside the caption, you win some, you lose some, and sometimes you get a tampon shoved up your nose. Yes, you heard that correctly. And look closely, poor Joaquin had not one but 2 tampons in there. Kelly told co-host Ryan Seacrest that's standard wrestling protocol.
Did you know that if you break your nose while you're wrestling, that they put tampons up there? I think they're like OB or, like they're the small tampons. He doesn't have a Kotex security up there.
On the plus side, Joaquin won the match. But it seems to be a very accident-prone 2020 for the team at Live. Earlier this month, Ryan took a spill while trying to catch a gold balloon, and, well, we'll just let you watch it for yourself.
Jasmine Gould from Buffalo, New York.
Luckily, the 45-year-old TV personality laughed it off and later posted the moment on Instagram, writing, "First fumble of the new season. Hope I make the playoffs."
When Ryan and I hosted together, it seemed like I said, it felt like a 10-minute show. It felt like 10 minutes, and that's when you know it's a really good pairing.
Back to Joaquin, he's the couple's last child living at home. Their other kids, Lola and Michael, are away at college.
By the way, he's in Vancouver.
Most of the time.
Most of the time.
So here's how Kelly and Mark told E.T. they plan to make the most of their empty house.
I'm truly going to be running through the house naked. I just want everybody to know that. I'm going to be sitting on every piece of furniture naked. Be warned before you come over. That's what I'll be doing in my spare time.
That's amazing.
And you're welcome, America.
Okay, and there you go on that entertainment report. And let's take a look at those celebrity birthdays for today and see which celebrities are celebrating a birthday today. And happy birthday to all of these celebrities. We hope they all have a wonderful birthday. And that does it for this Saturday morning edition of Good Morning New Hampshire. I hope you all enjoyed watching this Saturday morning edition of Good Morning New Hampshire. Have a great rest of your Saturday. I'll see you back here on Sunday for another edition of Good Morning New Hampshire. Goodbye, everyone, and talk to you later.